Hello and welcome. Today I'm going to show you how to make a flag. I'm going to start with a simple cube. This is going to be my flagpole. It's going to be like a piece of wood, like a plank. I'm going to add some pins, so I'll use a cylinder. I'll scale it down quite a lot. Scale it down. I'll make this end pointy, and then this end extrude along normals and move that up, then rotate on x-axis by 90 degrees, and let's add a array modifier. Let's make maybe 6 pins. That'll do. Let's make it 7, and then I want this to go up, so it's a z-axis. Now let's place it where it's supposed to be onto this board, and let's increase the distance. Perfect. Now just move it into position. Obviously, if you're making your flagpole, it doesn't really matter how it looks. The flag simulation stays the same. Okay, let's add some color to this. So I'll make this brown to represent wood, and then these pins I'll make new color. I'll make it like a grayish color. Select everything. Ctrl J to join them. But before you do that, make sure you apply your modifier. And then again, Ctrl J. And while I have this selected, maybe do set origin to geometry. And then Shift D. This is for the second type of flag. I'm going to show you how to make like a vertical flags. I think you can call them, they have a name. Gonfalon. Yeah, it's called Gonfalon. I'm not sure how you pronounce it. And yeah. A flag is basically a plane with a lot of geometry, and by adding a plane, I find it quite difficult later on to add a design because you have to match your UVs. So what I'm recommending to do is, instead of adding a plane, just add your design. So I prepared a couple flags already. So push Shift A, choose mesh, not the mesh, image, and then mesh plane. If you don't have this option, you might be using different version of Blender. You want to have a an add-on called Image to Planes. I think you can find it. You might not. Okay, Image to Planes. So that's the add-on that allows you to add images as planes. But in my case, I don't really need it for some reason. Maybe it's the new Blender version. So Mesh to Planes, and that allows you to choose your image. So I have some prepared, and there you go. It appears into the Blender, and also I can edit. It's a plane with the image. Now you want to add a lot of geometry to this, so Ctrl R and maybe 25 vertical, and then Ctrl R 20 horizontal. So now, as you can see, there is a proper grid, a lot of squares that allows the simulation to be smooth. So rotate this on x-axis. You'll need to scale it up and place it where it belongs to your flagpole. I think that'll do. Just move a little bit to the front. Okay, that's perfect. So let's start simulating the flag. Select this object, go underneath the physics, and choose cloth simulation cloth, and now you have some presets underneath right corner, and where it says cloth, you can push this, and there's a few options, and you either go for silk or cotton. I'll go for cotton actually, and then there's not much that you need to change, except you want to make sure that the flag collides with itself and your flagpole or any other object. So select your flag again, and somewhere underneath the shape or collisions, you have self collisions. Make sure that's clicked on. Choose your pole, so the flag can also collide with your pole, and also just push this button called collisions. I'll do the same thing for the vertical flag, collisions. Now what we want to do is tell this flag where these pins are. where this flag is going to be pinned to. So some of these vertices, click on vertices in the edit mode, and you can select the top, you can select the side. I'm going to select the side. Also, I could just select the closest vertices to my pins, but that's going to give this flag some rigids and it won't look as nice, but you can try that as well. But in my case, I'm just going to select the whole line. You can do both lines to make a I don't know, pinned to the wall or something. So I'll select only one in my case, and underneath the data I have to make a new vertex group. So when you push this button, you have this group. Now you have to select these lines again, not necessarily again, but you want to make sure that you selected your vertices and just push assign. So this group, let's call it pins, because that's what it is. Push assign, make sure that's been pushed, and if you would go to the physics of this flag, which is right there, I think that's it. I think we did everything except damping. Reduce the damping number to maybe 2 to make this flag look more like a flag rather than a thick material. It's difficult to describe, but reduce these dampening values. And if you would push space, as you can see, it falls down. I forgot to tell the flag where are the pins. So if that happens to you, go back to the physics tab, and somewhere underneath the shape there is this pin group. So for the pin group, select pins. That's the group that we made previously, and stiffness leave as 1. So now if I hit space, as you can see, it works, but it looks weird. So we can fix that by scrolling up, and then vertex mass, just increase the vertex mass to maybe 1. As you can see now, it's relaxed. And if you experiencing these weird, as you can see, it's not smooth. The flag doesn't look smooth. You can see the squares. So 2 things that you can do: shade smooth, that helps a little bit, and then add a modifier called subdivision surface. Make sure the modifier is not above the cloth. You want the modifier to be added after the simulation. So the simulation simulates the current vertices, and then after that you add the subdivision, so it's not laggy. And also you can see the corners being rounded, so to fix that you want to make sure it's simple, so it's not trying to average out the edges. And that's pretty much, yeah, that's pretty much it, how you make horizontal flag. But as you can see, there is some problems. It's not real perfect. So what I'm going to do in edit mode, I'm going to select both lines of vertices. I'll go back to data, and then I'll choose this pin vertex group. I'll assign more vertices. Now I have 2 lines assigned. So if I launch the simulation, as you can see, it stays a little bit better positioning. It has better positioning. It's not perfect. What you would want to do, you maybe want to increase the subdivision level. That seems to be a little bit better. And let's add some wind. I think that's the only way to show that the flag is doing what flags do. So let's add some wind. And wind is very, very simple. You get the circle. Rotate this whatever direction you want it to blow. So I'll do a bit of rotation, place it there, scale it up a little bit, and then underneath the physics properties you can adjust the strength, and you need quite a lot, like 300 is enough to make this flag fly. As you can see in the beginning, it looks a little bit weird, so if you would go to the first frame and change the quality steps, it should fix that. And increase the vertex max a little bit as well. And let's do the vertical flag, Gunfalon. It's the same thing. import an image. So choose image, mesh plane, and I have, I think, this one. Yeah, so I made this image with alpha. What that means is I made it in Photoshop. That means this bit is transparent. You can see through, and I made some holes as well, so you can see actually through the flag. And same procedure. Rotate. Perfect. And let's place the whole thing in front. As you can see, it's visible through. Now let's add a lot of geometry to the flag. Control R. I'm going to increase the number. I'm going to do 30, and then so I'll do 45. So now that makes quite a decent geometry for simulation to run this flag. You don't need to do that. And also, if you exporting this to any game engine, you would not make animation in Blender. You would use a physics inside the game engine, like Unity, Godot, or whatever you're using, Unreal Engine. So flag is there. So it's just the same procedure. Click on cloth, then preset, I'll use silk. I'll increase the vertex mass, and you want to make sure it's colliding with itself. So self collisions. Vertex group, skip that. Now pin group. Again, select the top. This is where the flag is going to be pinned. Then go to underneath the data and add new vertex group. I'll call it GONFALON pins. Perfect. And then while I have these selected, I'll push assign. Then I can go back to physics and somewhere in the bottom there, pin group, and choose that. And that should work. It's not really doing much, but I can move the wind to blow this direction. And now you can see it's moving. Also, shade smooth. And to make it even better, add modifier and subdivision surface. So now it's a perfect flag. And now you can animate this and use it where you want this. If you're making a Blender animation, that's perfect. If you're making a game, you would not do these steps. You would just import the whole file without any animations and then do physics inside the game engine. And that's it. Thank you very much for watching. Like and subscribe if you need any help. Also, one cool thing. If you do force field, it's a circular force field, you can actually move the flag, but increase the force field. Physics, where is it? Strength, just make it quite high. And now you are able to move the flag with a force field. So you can see it pushes the flag out. Let me delete the wind. So now it's going to simulate again the whole flag without wind. As you can see, it pushes the flag. So it's just the same as wind, really. You can increase the strength. Yeah, there's so many things that you can do with that. So thank you very much for watching. Like, subscribe, and if you need any help, let me know in the comments. By the way, somebody commented on the last video to make a very complicated rig, and I tried to do it. I don't really have it anymore, but I tried to do it and I cannot manage to make it, so sorry about that. Bye.